that should be, well, it might mean empty battery too. It's showing an empty battery on that side.
Oh, you mean low battery, you mean?
Yeah. But it's recording, so the remote worked. Alright, that worked. Turned it on to record. But that must be low battery. They give you a picture out here of a battery, and there's nothing in it. That means it's empty, just about. It'll give us a high sign when it fizzles, I guess.
It's amazing they can
Yeah.
all that in that little thing.
In that little thing. And it's not too heavy. I broke it the day before we went to Ireland, trying to get the film in the wrong way. Didn't read the book. Well, I did read the book. I was reading it, but I had my thing upside down and couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, and I tried to jam it and broke it.
So you didn't take it?
No. So I was real sorry, because I was going to, Bridget and I were going to use it the week we were there, and then she would bring it home, so I wouldn't have to mess with it along home. So that was disappointing.
Oh, I'm so glad you got to go to Ireland.
Oh, I am too, Dad. What a wonderful time that was.
Yeah.
That's,
Even with all the discombobulation you had.
I know, and Ruth took it so well, because Bridget and I were so upset. And Ruth said, Inshallah. What's that mean? If God wills it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole way of thinking.
She was just so glad to see it greening all around, I guess.
Yes, she was. She said it was a lovely 3 days, 4 days, whatever she had, but she just figured if we were supposed to hook up, we would. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've been waiting on.
I thought so.
What, your teeth?
I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing you don't need them to drink coffee with.
Yeah.
Although, this morning...
Well, sometimes when he does drink, he used to when he drink coffee, he says, I don't have my teeth. I said, you have to have drink. I said, your teeth to drink coffee? Mm-hmm.
Well, this tastes like coffee.
Oh, yes. It is good when you get going, the
Yeah,
mother said. It's not bad when you get in there.
After the first one, it's not too bad.
Something of bean in it.
Yeah. Well, I feel better now. I got my mouth clean, my teeth clean, and my eyes doctored up. I may make it today.
Now you're going to be awake, huh?
Yeah. I just hated to give up that toasty spot in there.
Yeah.
When am I supposed to go to that doctor tomorrow?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to take a shower, it would be better to take it tonight so you're not so weak tomorrow.
Do you have to take a shower, though, Dad?
It usually does. And it wouldn't hurt to take some of this gook up here either today.
Then x-rays would be, I mean, they know he's been going to the doctor unless I'm going to get x-rayed.
Well, tell him you want an x-ray.
It's at the clinic, right?
Yeah, it's
Where
right
they
next
can
door.
do x-rays?
Right next door.
It's right close, but
It's
I'm
next-
supposed to be
it's-
in at 4 o'clock, everybody be going home before I even get in.
No.
Well, we better call and make sure. I wonder if Lynn mentioned to him. Because there isn't any point in going without x-rays. And then having to make another trip.
I think my doctor's appointment is. I think it's right after the first of the year. I have to call and find out.
Well, if it's bad weather, you have him change it.
Oh yeah. Trouble is, you don't get in for a month afterwards.
Yeah, boy, the way it is now, you shouldn't be getting out.
No, I know I shouldn't.
It's just a skating rink out there. I mean, one wrong move and you're down.
Well, I could call and change it till. Of course, you never know if the weather's going to be later either. But you could change it, I suppose. My ambulance, I don't know whether it's between Christmas and New Year's or or what, but I should go to him, but I'm not going out in this. They don't call you and tell you now that the doctor's place, they call you and tell you, you know, on that automatic thing that your appointment is if you can't make it to push one. They call you the night before, which is nice.
That's nice.
Are you filming again?
Yes, you're on camera.
Boy.
There we go. It's just like being in a TV studio. Kind of cool.
Oh, it's solid now. It's not flashing.
Yeah, it was in the standby.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Now I got it filming. Now, didn't Dr. Ron have a sleigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he take you?
Not, I never got to ride it, but I think the other kids did.
Yeah, I was thinking you and that's the other kid.
Yeah.
That was Joe.
Yeah, he bought it off that
Hank.
an old farmer out there on the river.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I
I went out and got it in the,
thought he
we
bought
did,
it off Hank.
in our old pickup. That
Did Hank
slave
buy it
that
off
got
him?
Hmm?
Didn't he buy it off Hank, or Hank bought it off him or something?
One I'm thinking of, he bought off a Roy Hunt. Out by the 4 Mile Bridge.
Where's the 4 Mile Bridge?
Well,
Between here and
they called it
Chillicothe?
that 'cause it's 4 mile west of Tacoma.
Oh.
You know where the Eddyville Road is? I mean, the
Out
old
to
road,
Beavers.
Eddyville.
Oh, yeah.
By the first reverse curve. It's right close to there.
You didn't hear me. I said that was Joe. He
Joe.
wants his money. So,
What?
he wants his money, so I'm going to have Dan get it for
Well, she must be after him.
Hello?
him. No, I
Yeah.
told her.
Hi, honey. Hey. Well, he's still down flat, but they're going to haul him to the doctor tomorrow and see if they can't get an x-ray and see if there's any strange critters living up in his back. Joe and Steve, or Danny and Steve are off, from Deers this week.
Joe said if you need him tomorrow, you can
So
go.
they're going to
but I thought that
strong arm him. He'll look like he's going off to the big house with the two guys on either side. How's the gang? And well, that's good. Everybody healthy? Oh, I'll bet.
you don't want that, do you? You
Yeah.
don't want that.
Yeah, we went to I-80 truck stop. I'd never been there. I mean, in the front door. I'd been in the back selling food, but never ate there. That's really the place. It's huge.
Sit down.
Well, I think she did. I mean, even if she didn't sleep, so what? It's nice to be with the family, It's better than not being with the family. That's a lonely night to be alone. So, I think she had a fine time. Maureen never made it down, so I don't know whatever happened to her. I didn't hear any more. No. Well, she went to breakfast, yeah. Yeah, but then they went back to your house. She reminds me more and more of Betty. I mean, I think she just fades out, and I know she wasn't feeling good at all. So she called eventually to Mother's, and we were all down at Dan's, but Mom said she was at Iowa City at my place, and she just woke up. So who knows? And even if she went to my house, at least maybe she just needed a night with sleep or heat, That would be good. I did, like a rock. Bear's bed is very comfy. Oh, well, I've slept in Jordan's bed too, and I mean, I always sleep in it. It used to be lumpy, but I could always sleep. Well, I can sleep pretty much standing up if I'm tired. That house had 8 extra people, I think. 8, I counted them up. Bobby, Philip, Holly, that's 6. Betty and I are 8.
Maureen.
Oh, Maureen, 9. Man. Well, you gotta put out the word next time. Bring your own sleeping bag and pillow. Oh, did you?
My kids already do that.
Thanks a lot.
I said, my kids already do that. Bridget comes in with her stuff, her
Yeah.
pillow and Katie's pillow.
Well, who knows how
Like she's
late
going to
they
stay
would
permanently.
downstairs. But that was a fit. Riley Bear comes. I knew it was her because I heard the door open. She is such a funny kid. Oh, God, yes. Well, remember how it was sleeping with Abby? You'd swear she had 8 arms and legs. Oh. Well, I sleep with them in the big king-size bed, when they're at my house. We start off together. And they just got all the room in the world, and they end up laying on each other. They're so cute.
Oh my.
Well, have them bring those up with them. Yeah, I think. Okay. Sure. Well, I was going to stay and go to the doctor with Dad, but the car's due back tomorrow morning. He's not going into the office till 4 then in the afternoon.
It's supposed to snow.
And it's supposed to snow 2 to 4 tomorrow, so I'm going to keep my original plan and go back this afternoon. 2 to 4 starting tonight, I guess. Did that drive where tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow, well, I don't know when. Is it in the nighttime or tomorrow day for the 2 to 4?
I thought it said maybe day. I don't remember what it said.
Daytime, I think. Yeah, but it should be over by night.
We're
Yeah.
supposed to get 2 to 4 inches of snow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it's night or day.
Well, I'm figuring on coming back down here for New Year's Eve. So I'll probably come down Sunday, I would say. Sunday morning. And that's if I get my car running and everything works. Yeah, that'll work. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, whatever, depending on the weather, whatever works for you. Because I think that's the last snow I've seen predicted is tomorrow. And then it's supposed to be just winter weather after that.
Through Sunday.
Okay. All right. That's great. Yeah, I gotta go home. See, Carol's gone next door. And I'm taking in her mail. She stopped her papers, but I don't want the papers on mine to all sit out there because they can tell you're not home. The kitty cats are there. And I want to make sure the furnaces are all running. Yeah. Well, no, but he's visiting Lauren. And if she gets used to it, maybe he'll stay. Who knows? I mean, they were in the same room a few times before I left on Monday and not hissing at each other, so I think they'll eventually get along. Yeah, sure. No, I walked in. Each one's got their own bedroom, their own bed. They got the VCR running, movies rented. One's yelling at the other, it's your turn to go to the fridge. No. Hellcat walked in and started using Marm's litter box right away, eating out of his dishes. Well, Marm wasn't around. I mean, they eat on different floors. But I've got multiple cat litter anyway, so. Well, I'll see when I get home if that has happened. But it hadn't happened by Monday when I got there, so who knows. And I haven't talked to Maureen to see if she's... Well, find out the scoop and then tell me when you bring the kids. if she's well, what happened to her, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. And bring their little sackies and I'll sew them. Okay. See ya. Bye.
Do I get the kids for New Year's Eve?
No, I told her I'd take them a couple days. She doesn't have a babysitter this week.
Oh.
So Trudy's taking them tomorrow, and then she'll bring them up tomorrow night. And they'll stay with me Thursday night, Friday night, and she'll pick them up Saturday. Oh. And I got them little sacks like Bridgie and Katie's.
Yeah.
So she's going to bring those, and I'm going to take a big tuck inside to shorten them
Oh, yeah.
until they grow a little taller.
Do you get one for Aber, too?
And Gigi already had one and was telling me. That's how I found out about them, because she had one, and she said, oh, it's so warm to sit around at night. And I've been using mine. You can keep your clothes on and then put it on over you and sit around to study, and you can keep that heat way down.
That'd be better than a blanket around you.
Yeah, because it's, when you get up to walk, it still stays all around you. It's really nice. But I've never slept in mine. I don't think it would be comfortable to sleep in.
Probably not.
But I sleep in my long underwear, and that's cool, because when I get up in the morning, I don't have to take anything off. I just add to it.
Yeah.
It's already warm.
Yeah, boy, these sweatsuits, I'm
Yeah.
glad I had them.
Well, and I like your little new muffler. That's such a soft. That's really nice,
Yeah,
man.
boy, it's pretty warm, too. The thing is, I'm going to find some way to keep it fastened.
Well, do you tuck it in your...
Yeah, but it don't stay. Oh, I ram around a lot.
It's long enough. It's just,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
it
tuck
comes
it in.
loose.
you haven't got it on that other side.
No, it's,
Pull down.
but it's,
I think
Nice
I'm
and
making
warm.
Linda's longer. I'd like to, maybe when you come back for New Year's, you'd show me how to make the strings on them.
Oh, the fringe?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fringe. Can you do that with the
Mhm.
yarn, with a needle, or do you have to do it with a sewing needle?
I think you get a big yarn needle. You know, with the great big eye, because you have to thread it through there,
Yeah.
don't you?
what'd you
No,
say, string?
you don't even need a needle. You just can use a knitting needle.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, you
I showed
poke the
it-
needle through, grab the threads, and pull a little bit, and then open
Tie
them
'em.
up. Yeah, and then tie a knot.
I know.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's time consuming, but it's easy.
Well,
Yeah, you don't need a needle.
I thought maybe I'd make one that way for her.
Crochet hook is what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it showed in the crochet book, it showed that you use a regular, this big yarning needle.
I suppose you could,
Could
but
do
it's
that.
just as easy.
Well, you know, the fringe on the, you know, the scarf, and then they have the fringe hanging down, and the little strings. Well, I can show you in the
What are
book.
they for?
Decoration.
Just to decorate it.
Makes it pretty edgy.
I don't need any.
I don't mean you. I
You
mean,
aren't getting any fringe.
You got yours. Linda brought me some purple yarn and some black yarn. And she didn't know whether she wanted purple or black, and I said, well, get both and I'll make you two. So she got me the yarn, because I said, I'll pay you for the yarn. She said, no, you won't. And I said, well, I don't want
I think it's time.
to use it there.
There's a hellcat up your window. Yeah, he's like,
Well, I saw the dog come down from the hay.
Is there just two out there? Two cats?
that was the wild thing. I can't
Well,
see
when you're
any.
up against the window, sometimes you can see that yellow streak, if it's that one.
Yeah, it's the yellow streak.
Oh, boy.
And
he's
the
so
little
wild.
black and whitey. That's the only two there.
Oh.
I don't even see Mom
Well,
today.
the best, the
Mom.
friendliest one then got lost.
Mom's
Fuzzy?
been,
Or no,
Mom's
that's
been
not
Fuzzy.
Mom. Fuzzy.
Fuzzy. No, Fuzzy just comes down at certain times. I usually don't feed him until Fuzzy's there. Or I have to feed twice.
That one just goes zipping up. This is too unreal. This is your good-looking Saudi
What's a Saudi girl to do?
on a good day. Man,
That's what they all say. What's a Saudi
yeah.
girl to do?
Give us a little pirouette there. Oh, man.
What you trying to
Oh,
say?
it has little slits in the side.
You look
I'm
like
surprised.
Darth Vader.
His wife.
I'm thinking I'm gonna have to. Oh, there she is. There she is. All right.
Then you can flip it up, like when they're in the women's waiting room all by themselves.
You can see eyes when you're in the women's room. That's what they looked like in the airport, both in Germany and in London. They had just the eyes showing. Oh, so cool.
That's awful.
It's beautiful. It really is
Well,
pretty.
it's a lot better looking than I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Because why don't you have, you can't wear colored ones?
no, but
It has to be black.
they do in Jeddah. They do on the other coast, on the east coast too. But Riyadh, in the middle of the desert, the capital, you can't
Has
wear
to be
any.
black.
And the men run around how? Just completely in Western clothes, or no?
White robes, just a white gown, and checkered tablecloths on their head.
Oh, like Yasser Arafat's, that thing. Okay, Kate, say hello to your fans.
It's my fan.
Hello, fans.
You're on.
You're on candid camera.
No.
Yes. There's lovely Kate and your mama, Bridget.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mom.
Your mama. Your mama. I'm gonna try backlight now.
Did you ever show Ruth the thing of Grandma when Pete came down?
No.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. Is it on? It might. No, I think it's on one that is out of here now. I mean, I finished that one off and started this one.
But can you can you show it?
Yeah.
God, that was so funny. She probably had a heart attack.
Well, even that was weird.
Oh, all kinds of furniture. I mean, those little bar stools and things we got, almost all that stuff. We got it, I can't. My shelf unit that I painted in my bedroom. Because we bought another one and put in our pantry to store water and soda and all that kind of crap.
So, how did you get hooked up with her for a roommate? Can you just go and request a new roommate when you're ready?
Oh, really?
Well, if you want to move, they tell you have to find a roommate. And they give you a list of names.
Are you leaving, honey?
Don't
Yeah.
have roommates or
Okay.
whatever.
Bye-bye. Be careful.
I will.
Drive carefully.
I will.
I'll be here a couple days.
Okay.
Or
That coat is pretty cool, Kate.
Yeah, and
It is very nice.
got it. Got it from my mom for Christmas.
I'm like she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like your hair that way.
Yeah, I highlighted it. It's strawberry blonde. You haven't seen her for a while.
Very pretty.
Did you notice it?
I like it. Of course, I'd like to steal your hair. I'd like to trade your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
pretty
see,
hair.
if you go to Saudi, you'd have to cover because blondes and redheads get more harassment. They're always asked to cover.
Really? They don't ask you, though, if as light as yours is?
I think I've only been asked maybe 3 times in a year. And one time it was because a member of the royal family was in the mall. He had all his bodyguards around him and they have to do something to earn their money, you know. Woman! Cover.
And that's what they say. They just yell at you, woman.
And you can't give them the finger or
I'd
anything?
say, you talking to me, boy? Talking to me?
You'd be going to jail.
Do they just haul your ass off if you...
God,
Give 'em
would
any
you
lip?
love to be a morphodite at that time? Is that the one that has the dick? I'm not man. Or I'm not woman. Fuck that old dick out of it.
Yeah, indecent
She
exposure.
might jump your bones, yeah.
That's true. Would they even arrest a man if he wasn't walking around with his dick hanging out? And they don't do much to the men over there, do they?
He went walking
They
around with his
wouldn't
dick
give
hanging out.
Well, like she said, probably somebody just jumped his bones.
I don't think they would. Although they arrested, there was a Philippine nurse that worked in MS. was arrested for homosexuality. He was in the front seat of a cab, and I never heard exactly what happened. But I know, and Terry works in MS, my roommate, and they were real upset. And because a Matawa had arrested him, they either had to find a Matawa with more power or more standing to go get him out, or somebody from the hospital had to vouch for him to get him out, or the king. And finally, one of the doctors, one of the Middle Eastern doctors, I don't think he was a Saudi, but he was a Muslim and knew the nurse, so he went down and got him out, but the guy spent 10 days in jail.
10 days?
And they beat him.
Okay, this is Riley and Jordan's snowman. Today is the day after St. Patrick's Day. And this guy's name is, what's his name, girls?
Patrick.
Patrick the Snowman for Happy St. Patrick's Day. He watched over us all night like a guardian angel. He is a good-looking dude.
Is he still up? Do that to us.
Yes, he is. Yes, I'm going to put you in here
With
next.
that sweatshirt.
Let's see.
Because we need a St. Patrick sweatshirt so everybody
Let's
knows.
see. I'm going to try this with a backlight. Yeah, that might be better. Get a good look at him. All right. And then we're panning over
See the snowman.
to Miss Naked, Halfway Naked Jordan.
Snowman.
You want to see the snowman in here? Look right in there. Well, let's see. I'm in between the thing now. You got to, let's move this guy. Look right in here. And you can see. See him?
Yeah.
See him? Okay. He's a good snowman. Good looking guy.
I want to hold it.
No, you go over. I'm going to take some pictures of you guys.
Oh, right. And Zoe.
And who?
Zoe.
Let's see. There's our Christmas tree.
You see me?
Okay, it's only March 18th. We got to be getting that tree down
you
by
need to look at this
probably
way.
by April.
You need to look at this way.
What are we looking at? Oh,
Us.
Zoe's in the. Wouldn't it be nice to wear clothes?
Can I see Zoe?
Yeah, you can see Zoe. Can you see him? Right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe we'll
Zoe
take the
is a
back
girl.
light off there. And there. Better.
Zoe is a girl.
And there's Miss Naked Jordan. We don't care much for clothes, even if it's March 18th and 20
Let me see
degrees
Zoe.
out.
I want to see Zoe.
Zoe is right there. Yep. Now let's see what else we can find over here.
Eyes.
Okay. Let's see.
Hey, what
the
about
Tin
this
Men
that I'm
all
holding
have
up?
their Christmas decorations on. And picture of Miss Jordan at Uncle Terry's swimming pool. And what's that?
Grandma Khaki.
I can't see that one. Grandma Khaki?
Grandpa Keith birthday.
And what's that one? Oh, that was Riley when she was a baby. Tiny baby. Who left the bathroom light on? Can somebody turn that off for me? My helper girls. And that's somebody's mommy.
Mine.
Somebody's little girl.
Mine.
Mine. And
Jordan.
you
I
guys
know-
look like sumo wrestlers
I know this is
with
not
no
you.
shirts on.
Jordan, I know if this
How
is
come
not
nobody's
you.
got a shirt on?
It's not you.
Ladies, how come nobody's got a shirt on? Are you just too hot?
Yeah. It's too hot.
You're just too hot, eh?
Just too hot.
Just too hot. No shirts because it's just too hot.
Just too
Like I say, it's March and the old thermometer reads 25, 30 maybe.
That's for ball. No better. That's for ball. No better.
And what are we playing down there? Camping out?
Doctor.
Oh, you're playing doctor? Who's the doctor and who's the sick person?
Zoe's a sick person. Jordan's a doctor and I'm not. I'm gonna help.
And what are we doing with the bucket of suckers?
Those are for the people that are being good at the doctor.
Oh, they get a sucker if they're good?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause we need us to sick with these sick too.
Oh. Can you get it open?
Yeah.
I see that you can. So you're giving her a sucker because she's a good baby?
No.
Oh, is that the thermometer? Taking her temperature?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I see.
Now she's gonna.
So are you the nurse, Riley?
No, Jordan is. I'm the mommy.
I thought Jordan was the doctor.
Oh, yeah. Jordan's the doctor.
The doctor looks like he's on a camping trip.
No, I'm not.
Doctor, are you on a camping trip? What are you doing with the sleeping bag?
This is for the sick people too.
Oh. So are the sick people on a camping trip?
Zoe's gonna go on it. So Zoe's going to go on it. Right? Yeah.
Zoe's going camping too?
She's not gonna get on it. Gotta set it up again. And I'll show you what we're gonna do to Zoe. She's not going on a camp trip. She's gonna be on a dentist thing.
Gonna be on the what?
On a doctor thing. I'm gonna go put it right now. I will help you do it when Zoe's on. You can do it when Zoe's on. Okay, here's the pillow. And
So what are these sick people doing? Are they getting better?
yeah. They're not, and this is a St. Patrick's Day thing at the doctor. Here's the section.
That's pretty scary.
Let me see.
Oh, that's pretty scary too.
No, Daddy, you do it. I'm gonna see Jordan.
But don't get so close. Yeah, right there. Oh, that's ugly. That's really ugly.
Jordan, do this.
Okay, back her up, back her up.
Back her up, back her up.
Back her up, back her up.
Okay, what are we gonna do to Zoe? We need to get her shot.
Gotta hold this.
We need to get Zoe a shot. We forgot to get Zoe a shot.
A shot, eh? Is Zoe the only sick person?
No, and somebody.
And Zoe's a reindeer, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are taking care of a sick reindeer.
I'm gonna stay here.
And Santa Claus and... Who's that guy? Elfie?
You guys gotta wait your turn. We need this too, Grandma.
No.
We need it.
Mm-mm. There's enough nonsense on this floor to pick over right now.
You guys gotta wait your turn, okay? Because Zoe's not done. We need one to go for Zoe. We need two for Zoe.
To what?
2D. Here, Zoe goes on yours. Zoe can go on ours or somebody else's. No, no.
Are you guys warm enough?
Yeah.
Do you like to be naked?
Yeah. There, everybody. Now what else is coming in? Okay, now come in. Come in now. Come in now. You're in. You're in now. Everybody look at these 4 kids.
Are they all sick?
No. Yeah.
Or are they all better now?
Just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hmm.
We didn't do these guys.
We didn't.
Jordan, you do these guys and I do
They're not real?
They're all real. Because I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take all of these home. Because, what are those guys got for?
If you take them home, you won't have anything to play with when you come here.
No, not our house.
Oh, you mean to their house? From the hospital?
No, we're going to take them to our house at here.
Oh, your house at my house. So are they in the hospital now?
Not yet. Jordan, this is not. Because you have it that purple and I have that purple, okay? And we need to set this top of them. Frosty, get back in. We gotta take our there.
You guys are certainly busy.
This whole house is the doctor.
This could be the hospital.
The doctor.
Okay, the doctor. And I'm the nurse.
Okay.
And you're...
These are six
Who are you, the doctor?
persons. These are 6 persons.
Those are sick persons.
I want to hold
Who's the doctor? You?
Jordan. No.
All right, you gotta put your hand in there.
I can't see.
No, you gotta put your thumb down there to hold it up. Like that. And then try and focus, yeah, on crazy woman there. Put her in the picture, see? Keep her in there. She's a crazy woman.
Now do another funny face.
Riley, you're gonna stretch your mouth.
Now
It
do
will
another
be-
funny face.
All stretched out. Can we see her? No, we can't we? Okay, why don't you go take a shot of the snowman and then I'll put him away.
Look at my foot. Do you see it?
Oh, get your foot out of there. Go take a shot of your snowman.
Okay.
Take a picture. Wait. Okay.
I'm gonna do it after Jordan. Can I do it after
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan? I'm gonna do it after you. Doll?
Are you getting him in the picture? Have you got him in there? Oh, yeah, you do. Let's see. I want to put a backlight on that. Backlight. Oh, that looks pretty good. Have you got him in there?
Can I see it?
There he is.
Jordan,
Okay, let Riley do a couple of shots of him.
I don't want to do Frosty.
You know?
I want to do Grandma.
Oh. Okay, scoot around. Not me, something else. Yeah, you look in that thing, and that tells you what your picture is. Take a picture of Jordan. Point it at Jordan.
I
No,
see
you
it.
can't look in there. It doesn't show anything. You gotta look at this screen, and that tells you. There you go. See? You're doing it. Now you gotta hold it up so Jordan stays in the picture. There you go. Very good, very good. You could take a picture. Okay, now it's my turn.
And then after her, it's gonna be my turn. No, my turn.
Let's see. Take the Chris out. You guys are too wacky. Yes, a little dance.
6 person.
Sick person? Who's the sick person?
These kids.
I think you're both sick persons.
Okay. Sandra go with Zoe.
Hmm?
And so,
Backline.
they're gonna be partners. So they're gonna do art and craft.
Now is backlight on or off? Can't remember how it goes.
You kids gonna do a book.
And is this on
My
or
height.
not?
You need to say what you're gonna do. Okay. You got. You're gonna. You
start claying. Okay, now,
The
don't
museum
push
is
it anymore until you're
it
done.
has
Now,
a
get
real
Amy
early
and get
version.
Mommy in
He's
there.
trying to copy other artists until he got his own style.
You
And it was
gotta
like a
hold it up
period-
though
I
so
don't
you
know,
can
this
see
artist
it.
was, like really
See?
dark. Almost everything was black.
Let's
Like
hit
hand
this
moss
button
on
here.
a piece of on a table or whatever, and it's all black.
Okay.
And he was trying to copy
Now
some
get
different
Amy.
styles.
Get
I want to
Mommy.
see it. I can see it too.
And then try don't look in this. You can't see anything in there. Always look in your screen, and whatever you see in the screen is what's going on the film. So walk around with it if you want to, but always keep looking in your screen.
Was that Van Gogh, Mom?
What?
Portrait of Dora Maar.
I want to hold it.
Dora Maar?
I want to do it, Grandma.
Is that the one in the dining room? I mean, yeah,
Grandma,
dining room.
don't let me
Oh,
have
the
a
basement.
turn.
I don't know
It
it.
was his mistress. It was
Grandma, don't let me have a
Cezanne?
turn.
Monet?
I remember this. I've seen
Grandma,
it.
don't let me
I don't know. Maureen knows all of them. I don't know
Oh,
most
she's
of them.
into this?
Yeah.
I saw the original.
Don't let me a turn. Look at my pants.
You can't do it like that, honey. You gotta look in the screen and have something in there. If you do it on your knee, nothing will photograph. See? Move it around. Go get your snowman.
Huh?
I was telling her, go get the snowman.
Wait. What snowman?
Patrick.
We need to carry it.
No, I put it on the thing.
Put it on the the eye fell off again.
You gotta hold this up or turn it off.
The eye fell off.
Let me ask your mom might know. What other painter killed himself?
Don't I want to see? I want to do it.
You gotta either hold it up like that or turn the red button off. Because nobody wants to see the floor.
Who are the two posters I have on my
We're
desk?
gonna do that.
Van Gogh and
Not too much to attract.
famous.
That sign behind your couch, that poster will attract.
We have a turn.
Jordan, do something. Don't do the wall or the floor.
Posters.
And then give Riley a turn. I don't know that many of them.
No, it's totally
So,
two I know.
It's not Suzanne.
Make a funny face.
Famous.
Make another funny face.
I mean that.
Another funny face.
Back
Another
up a little,
funny
honey.
face.
She's too close.
It was so weird seeing the Mona Lisa.
Another funny face.
'Cause you
Wow,
can't
now
get
that
very
would have
close.
Another funny
Plastic
face.
in front of
Hey,
it.
shout,
Plastic.
shout, 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 blue. Your hair's blue like that.
So you can't get close
Shoot,
to it.
shoot, shoot,
And
shoot.
it is half the
Now's
blue.
my turn.
You
No.
love blue.
Really, don't have your
Lisa worth standing and waiting to see. I mean, is it moving? I'm seeing photographs of it, and I just cannot see what they're seeing.
After it's my turn.
Yeah, it does, but
It's famous, but
it's the most famous painting
After
ever.
it's my
and
turn.
It's just been.
After
and it's as
my
famous
turn.
for its history, I guess,
After
as for
it's my
its.
turn. I can see you.
See, and the town I never made it to, which I kind of wish I had, is Florence.
Mommy, I can see
That's a
you.
town for art.
Mommy, I can see you.
But you would love the Louvre. You would love it.
Yeah, just to go to the
It's
museum
huge.
itself,
It's huge. You
I
can't even
want
get through it in a whole day.
about Grandma.
and it's packed. Were you there in the summer? I was just reading in the New York thing about they had a travel section last week, and it said the buys are so fantastic in the winter. The weather sucks, but if you're not going for weather and you're interested in museums and
Mommy,
cultural
hello.
things, theater, winter's great.
Oh yeah, it's so much cheaper.
You can go round trip for $300 to all the capitals
And all
of
the
Europe.
places to stay are cheaper too.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what
Mom,
they
take
said.
it, stick it up.
So really, and I don't know, that's in June. So, darling, I'm gonna turn it off, okay?
No.
You can't put it on your knees. You gotta look at something with it. See? Whatever's in there.
Grandma,
Is what you're
Honey, Robin's
photographing.
hair stick it out. Everyone hold it. Hair stick it up. Robin's hair stick it up.
You are a nuisance. I will fix you chocolate milk if you'll eat something. If you'll eat a sandwich.
I want to eat a waffle at home.
Would you eat a little potato?
I don't like potatoes. Mommy,
How about a
hello.
carrot?
Mommy, hello.
You'd like that
Corned beef if you try it. Riley, I ate a quarter of a pound, maybe half a pound of corned beef last night. 2 soft-boiled eggs.
Riley ate all this?
Yes.
You ate all that? Where'd it go?
A whole grapefruit. What else? Oh, various assorted cookies.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, you were mourning the loss of those nachos last night.
I was.
Oh, look at those fancy lights.
Food, like real food. We're real people.
Why didn't I just take it? I could have just taken it.
And you know she just.
A sparkly cookie and chocolate now,
go get
right
it.
now,
I even
right
turned the cheese
now. Mommy, it's your turn. Mommy,
We
it's
had
your
ordered them,
turn.
and we didn't eat very much, and so
Your
you know how
turn.
Gigi gets hungry late at night. So,
You didn't take him home?
well, she didn't put him. She didn't eat too. I was with another girl. She was with I don't know what's his name, White Boy or something. And so she wouldn't take him. I went, why don't you take him in your car? Well, I'm not going. I'm not driving. So I had him in my friend's car. Well, then I ended up not going with my friend. So I wanted to go home. I was tired. So I ended up not going back to her car to get food. And I knew she was going to be upset about it. I knew she was going to be thinking about it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's banana
Yeah.
with a lot of hot sauce.
Yeah.
She had Cincinnati chili at home.
Sure, do it.
That's yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure it did other things to your butts later on.
Something. My turn to look in.
Okay, go give this to Grandma and turn it off.
I want to see her. I want to turn it off. No.
Girls.
I want to see her.
Expensive equipment.
I want to
Riley?
see
You have to take turns, Riley.
But I want to see it.
There's nothing to see if it's down.
They used to not let me photograph them because they always wanted to see themselves.
Oh, I shut it off.
Hey,
I want to see it there.
You left when you took off. Was it in the spring or fall?
No, it was in the fall.
In the fall?
In September, latter part of September.
And it was 1936?
38.
Okay, so what was going on in 1938? Was the Depression over yet?
No.
No?
And I know what I missed. What was going on that fall was, what's that guy's name? Orson Welles
Yeah.
with War of the Worlds.
Oh, that's when it
And
came
that
out?
scared everybody out of their
Yeah.
wits. Here, I didn't know anything about it. Of course, I didn't know that I didn't even have a calendar from. I started out and marked a calendar on the back end of the boat, you know.
Yeah. By days?
And then I got so lazy I didn't even mark the days off. Because I always remember the day I got to Baton Rouge. There was 3 ferries going across the river. Wasn't any bridge in. And just busy. And I pulled the boat up there, and I guess I needed some supplies. So I went uptown, and there was bands and, you know, uniformed men marching all over town. And before I'd left, you know, Hitler was raising hell over there. They'd had that Munich thing.
Well, so what was going on in downtown Baton Rouge?
Well, I went up to a guy and I said, "Did we declare war on somebody?" And he looked back up, said, "Don't you know this is Armistice Day?"
Armistice Day. I should.
I forgot all about that. And I had a pair of coveralls. You know, they was, when they'd rip, I just sew them together with fish twine. And it wasn't like this stuff you got now. It was real, almost as thick as that pencil, and white. And I never was a good fancy seamstress, so it was a little,
Did you only have one pair of clothes with you for the whole trip?
as far as I remember, yeah.
What is Armistice Day anyway? Was it
It was the 11th.
of November?
Yeah, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. That was Armistice Day.
And that commemorated
the end of World War One?
Yeah.
He's not bothering you, is it, Pat?
No, I can't even hear it, Mom. So you took off, and in the boat, all you had you had a gun? What? A rifle?
22 rifle.
And what kind of supplies?
Oh, had a Boy Scout cooking kit. And I know I had at least 2 blankets, maybe 3. One was an old quilt. And I had a gallon can I used to boil stuff in. And that's about it.
And I remember you say you drank right out of the river, drank river water.
Well, not till I got down below Memphis. Really.
Oh.
I usually stopped and went to a well and filled my canteen and jug. But below Memphis, yeah.
Is that because it was so much cleaner down there? Or why?
I think it was just because it was so far back to get up to a well.
Oh.
There was, the levees were usually built maybe a mile from the river, anywhere from a quarter mile to a mile, and you had to go that far to get any well. So everybody just drank river water.
Never got sick?
No, I never did. Evidently, you'd see them kids coming down there. Well, the only people that lived, between the levee and the river was the guys, you might call them river rats or fishing camps. There'd be fishing camps and they'd live on fishing and picking up acorns and then gathering this Spanish moss, that grew on them trees.
Yeah, what'd they do with
They'd
that?
sell that for mattresses.
Oh.
It's it stays, well, it don't mat up like straw. It's a lot better mattress material.
They use it decoratively now in potted plants and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I got them.
Well, actually, there's a plant that grows wild around here as a weed, and they call it bed straw. And the pioneers,
I've heard of that.
yeah, well, the pioneers used that for their mattresses, or what they called mattresses. And that was the reason, because if have you seen it and know what it looks like?
I don't think so, no.
Well, it's just different than any other plant. It's sticky. It'll grab onto your pants when you go by.
But it stays
Yeah,
loose and it doesn't mat
no.
down.
Yeah, that's where it got its name.
Well, now, did you take beans or flour or any staples with you?
Well, I can't remember taking anything, really.
No?
I
So you could shoot a squirrel or a rabbit if you
Yeah.
needed it, and
Yeah. I probably did take some beans, but I can't remember it.
and I remember you saying the rule of the river was the first 2 rows of the garden was for the rivermen.
Yeah.
Did you ever get chased out of anybody's garden?
No, never did. But of course, the gardens were, at the final stages,
Oh yeah, at
They
that
were-
time of year.
and a lot of people had just abandoned them, really. But there was still an awful lot of, especially tomatoes, them little cherry tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
awful lot of them. And there was still some, carrots and beets, turnips. There's a lot to eat. A few watermelon.
Okay, so
Let's see. This must be your cup.
yeah. So you left Ottumwa, went down the Des Moines River.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the Des Moines meet the Mississippi?
Well, it's right below the Keokuk. Right below the town. So you didn't have to go through the Keokuk Dam. In fact, the first dam I come to wasn't even finished yet. And I just went around it. The river was bank full.
In Quincy.
Yeah, I went around there.
And when you say first dam, is that the first one, period, on the Mississippi,
No.
or just down
I shouldn't have said
from
that.
us on?
I mean, the first dam I come to.
Oh, the first one you came to.
Yeah. No, the first one clear up there in Minnesota.
And then you told me there wasn't a bridge across the river past what?
Well, from Memphis to New Orleans, there wasn't a bridge. And the one at New Orleans had only been built about 2 years ago. I think it was finished in '36. They were sand hogging for a bridge, I think at Greenville and Baton Rouge both. Baton Rouge had 3 ferries running. They had a ferry to trains across and everything.
What do they do? Just have a ferry with the tracks right on it, and the train rolls on there?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
They used to have them up on the, they might still have, up on about halfway up Lake Michigan. Car ferries. I mean rail ferries.
Philip and I ran into one. Man, I don't know where we were. It was down at the tip of Illinois. And I don't know what river we were crossing. I mean, it was a horrible rainstorm, and I think we crossed into Kentucky.
Probably the Ohio River.
But that's the first and only time I've been on a car ferry in my own car, you know, going across.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty neat. We were lost, of course. We had no idea where we were. We'd gone to camp in the Shawnee National Forest down there, and it had rained for 2 days straight, so we didn't camp. We ended up moteling those 2 nights, and Abby was mad because she wanted to camp, and so nobody was very happy. And I just remember you could hardly see for the rain.
They're talking about restarting a ferry that used to be down across the Mississippi at New Boston. Now, I don't know exactly where that's at, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere north of Burlington.
Yeah, it's right, it's not far from the Quad Cities. I remember,
Well, it's up that far, huh?
yeah, New Boston. Well, it's down a ways, but it's not too far, maybe 20 miles.
There used to be one there,
Oh, there did used to be?
yeah. And they quit it.
Okay, so I got you down the Des Moines, onto the Mississippi below Keokuk. Didn't go through the dam.
The first night on the Mississippi, I had to sleep in a boat. The river was, like I say, it was out of its banks down there. And I figured I'd find an island, you know, big enough island that wasn't completely covered. So I started in this big island down a kind of a slough, and the farther I got, the narrower it got, and finally, and I could see there wasn't any dry land on it.
Oh.
By then it was dark, and I was just penned in there. You know, when you get high water, them islands are just covered with small saplings,
Yeah.
usually willow or cottonwood. Well, the dead ones, as they fall over, they're just laying there, interlocked between all the others. And I had to get out of the boat the next morning and clear me a path back the way I came.
So the dead ones are like blocking your boat all in like a big mesh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't get them out of the way with your oar. You just have to get out of the boat and pick them up and make them some other way.
Did the bugs eat you up when you had to sleep in the boat?
Or how
Yeah.
were the bugs all the way?
Very few bugs because it was cool enough. Might have already frosted here, I don't know. But the bugs didn't bother me much until I got clear down there below Baton Rouge. Then they did.
Okay, tell me about when you left. You were going to go with a friend. You and a friend had planned this trip. How long had you planned it?
Oh, I don't know. We talked about it for probably 3 or 4 years. We hunted together, you know. Ed McDermott was one of them. And we'd always talked about how nice it would be. We wanted to build a raft, but at the last couple of days, he decided he didn't want to go. So I figured it'd be a lot better if we just go with a boat.
So,
I knew Denny wasn't going to use the boat anymore that year.
and did you make it with one boat, or did you end up having
Yeah,
a couple of boats? Just one?
boat. And I sold the boat and the oars in New Orleans for $2.50. The oars were worth more than the boat. And it was an old rotten boat.
So, did it take on water most of the time?
Always leaked. You had to bail it out. Oh, several times a day, really.
All right, and when you left, did you leave in the daytime?
I left home at night. We'd been hunting all day, you know. It was Sunday night. We'd been hunting all day Sunday. And these guys, they decided they wasn't going to go, so I just walked down to our cabin at McInerney's place. Only about 3 miles down there. But I slept in their barn because the old cabin was in such bad shape we hadn't used it. Well, I slept in their barn that night and then took off the next morning.
And didn't mention a word to Grandma?
No, I left a note for Denny. But I didn't tell him where I was going.
Just said you were off to see the world, or what?
Yeah. Or am I just going to take off? Yeah, beautiful trip. I wish the river had been longer.
So did you float most of the time rather than row?
Yeah, I didn't do too much rowing. Of course, when I first hit the river, it was high, you know, and it goes faster then. And later it slows down. I wasn't in a hurry.
So normally you'd pull the boat up and sleep on the riverbank at night, make a fire and...
Usually. No flashlight. When the fire went out, you waited for dawn.
I would think you could have used a flashlight, but it probably would have gotten wet, too. I gotta get more paper.
Yeah, and batteries cost money.
Oh, yeah. Did you take any money?
Hmm?
Did you take any money?
I think I had about $30.
Oh, the cruise? Or the cabin cruiser?
Yeah, I always had some money. It didn't take much.
Well, you worked for Denny till the time you left. How old were you? What was it, 38?
I was
So you're 19?
Yeah, Grandma had to go up and get his diploma. He just left without it.
I remember her telling that story. Yeah, but
That was
that
the
would have
year.
been in May.
That was the year before. I graduated in 37.
Yeah. She just said it was because you refused to go through graduation.
Well, I didn't go to graduation. I never went to any of that
Went down and
stuff.
looked for him, but he was already gone. The kid he was going with backed out.
What was that?
Mom said Denny went down and looked for you after you left, but you had already gone.
I didn't know. Oh yeah, I took off at dawn the next morning. I remember stopping at Selma and getting a bottle of milk.
Where's Selma?
It's first downtown below Eldon. A little bit of a...
Oh. That would have been a pretty trip. I don't even know what towns are down the Des Moines.
Yeah, it's a beautiful trip. Well, it used to be a lot more. Selma and then Dowds.
Yeah, I know
Used to be a
Downs.
little town of Pittsburgh. Croton.
Well, Dowds is still there.
Yeah.
That's the Des Moines through there.
And then you come to the big town of Keosauqua. That was one of the big ones. Then I think that little town of Alexandria. My gun, you know, laying out at night, and the dew, it was starting to make rust on the barrel. So I traded a couple of squirrels this gal in the little general store there for a can of gun oil, 3-in-1 oil, so my gun won't get rusty.
In Alexandria?
I'm pretty sure it was Alexandria. You know, a little sidebar. Alexandria, Keokuk, and Warsaw, 3 towns within a 100-mile radius. The first letter and the last letter are the same. I think that was in Believe It or Not.
Mm.
It is an odd little...
And that's Alexandria.
Keokuk. And what did I say the other one was?
Warsaw?
Warsaw, yeah.
Now, wait a minute. The first and last letter?
Yeah.
Alexandria. Oh, I see. A and A
Of each
in the
town.
of each one. Oh. Oh, okay. That is kind of weird.
Yeah. To be so close apart like they was.
Yeah. Okay. Can you remember anything else weird about the part on the Des Moines River? Or did it get real exciting until you got down to the Mississippi?
Yeah, that's when the Mississippi was really out of his banks. I think that first day I was there, I met a guy coming home from milking these cows in a boat, and he gave me a can full of milk.
So you had to get to his barn by boat?
Evidently. Yeah, he must have had a herd or maybe part of his farm cut off.
Were the people friendly all the way?
Yeah, everywhere. I do remember a couple places I rode the boat right up to the old pump out in the barnyard, or used just a farmyard.
Oh, when the river was high?
Yeah, pump my canteen full while you're standing in the boat.
Tell me about what happened first, the tug captain that almost nailed you, or the time when the fancy boys invited you on the
Oh,
cruiser?
yeah, the tugboat partner got me first.
Where was that? Do you remember about where?
No, it was probably after, well, the next big thing that happened, you know, they had all the floodgates open on the Quincy Dam, and that was kind of a foolish thing. I went through them instead of going through the locks. But I figured it'd be quicker, and it was.
I bet it was.
Well, after you get, I decided to do it, and then after you get so close, well, you can't turn back.
Yeah. Was it just racing?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and it funnels, you know how they funnel out like that? So you got to keep the thing right in the,
Oh. It's a wonder you didn't crash.
I didn't realize how silly it was.
I've seen the one there at Davenport when they're open during floods, and it's just treacherous. Ugh. Okay,
Yeah, it was-
so next is the tug. Was it still flood season then or not?
well, it was still pretty high, yeah. Of course, all the time it was dropping because the farther down you go, and then it spreads out farther. But I really don't remember why I was floating at night. Sometimes it did get pretty chilly at night. And I probably woke up and chilly, and rather than build another fire in the dark, I decided I'd just gain some more miles. And the next thing I knew, boy.
Okay, tell me about how it happened.
Well, I woke up and I thought the sun was shining in my eyes. And he had that spotlight of his, you know, right on me. It's a good thing he did. That's what woke me up. Well, maybe his horn woke me up because he was laying on that whistle for all he's worth. And it's a good thing the oars were still in the oar locks.
That, okay, I remember that.
Man, I grabbed them. And I swear my heart was right up in my mouth. Boy,
bet.
it was just a... It was as scared as I have ever been. I wonder I didn't break them oars getting out of there. But I'll never forget, once I got clear of him, you know, boy, I was just exhausted. I just felt like a wet dish rag. And then about that time I was getting down there where the old captain was, you know, behind these barges.
Yeah.
He was leaning out the window, just cursing me something off, you crazy goddamn kid. Boy, he gave me a tongue lashing. Wow. What the hell are you doing out here? Of course, I didn't know too. I never forget that guy. But if he hadn't have caught me in his
Oh, yeah, if he
spotlight,
hadn't seen you.
I went right under that thing.
Do you remember, was there a moon? Was there a moon? Or he just caught you in the beam, huh?
Yeah.
Man, was that lucky.
Yeah, I remember, and boy, I woke up, and couldn't see. It took me a few seconds to
And then,
see what was coming.
oh gosh.
Yeah, it was, boy, my heart, it's a wonder it didn't jump out of my mouth.
Well, it would have been pulling water if it was that close to you, too. I mean, that had to be hard to row the,
Well,
what, perpendicular to the barge coming at you?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was really lucky there.
You remember how many barges across?
No, I don't think I took time to count.
They probably didn't run as many maybe then because the tugs weren't as big.
No, they didn't. Nothing like now.
Oh, man, like, it looks like acres of barges now when they
Yeah.
come up.
It is. It's really several acres.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Boy, it's big.
Yeah, I know some of them got to be more than 600 feet long.
So, did you not ride in the boat at night anymore after that?
And I don't think it's, I just can't imagine. And I remember going by St. Louis, but I never stopped. Because I remember that, big towns like St. Louis had maybe Davenport, got a cobblestone riverbank.
Yeah.
I
Like a
remember-
big driveway right into the river?
Yeah, I always remember that. But I didn't stop in St. Louis. Well, in fact, I went through the locks on the Alton Dam. That's the last dam on the river.
Then? Or now?
Now, them too. And the guy was real nice. I thought I'd have to wait for a tow, and go through with the tow, but
Did he let you alone? Go through alone?
yeah. I just tied the boat up and went up and started talking to him. You always want to know where you're from and where you're going and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about things, and he says, well, whenever you're ready to go through, I'll get in there. And I guess there wasn't any tows coming. I don't think they had radios back then. Now, they call up
Yeah.
for several hours before they get there. But I don't think they had radios then.
The captain always used to call me when he was going through the Arsenal Bridge. Make sure I was awake and had the bridge open and whatever.
No, I don't think they had radios.
That was kind of a neat job.
Yeah, you get a lot of reading done on that job, couldn't you?
You do. Staying awake is hard sometimes. Because, reading makes you sleepy too sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, especially if you hadn't got your sleep in the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be hard to stay awake.
You were lucky if there were no trains moving. You could just leave the bridge open. And if you did fall asleep, they'd wake you up hollering at you from that government bridge, which was good. The guy who got fired just before I was going to take that severance, though, he was drunk. He didn't wake up when they called him from the Arsenal Bridge. And I forget.
Did he have the bridge open?
Yeah, he had the bridge open, but it was high water, real hard to steer, and the guy was coming with empty barges, and he didn't make the straight channel shot. So they smacked up the bridge pretty good, did a lot of damage, and the railroad then was liable. Because the guy wasn't awake to report, that it wasn't our fault.
Yeah, there's always been a lot of... Old Lincoln was involved in in a litigation there when a barge or a towboat or just maybe a regular packet boat hit the Rock Island Bridge there at it was probably Rock Island.
Well, it had
I
the
mean, the
Arsenal Bridge and then the Crescent Bridge is
Well,
the railroad one.
What I meant, the Rock Island Railroad. But it might have been at Rock Island, the town of Rock Island too. But he was involved.
That is, yeah, at the town of Rock Island.
The boat company was suing the railroad, I guess. That was one of his law cases when he was
Yeah,
a lawyer.
you're supposed to stand out there on the tip of that pier. It's the pier or the bridge? Well, you got the bridge open. I think you're supposed to climb down and stand out on the tip of the pier so you can see exactly what's going to happen in the water. And
You are?
yeah, I think that's right, because that's when I started taking
Whoa.
swimming lessons. Because I figured if I ever got out on the end of that pier and anything happened, I'd be dumped.
Did you have a life preserver on?
No.
Hmm.
But I never had to do it either.
Hmm.
I never had anybody
Oh.
hit me while I was on the tour.
Every once in a while, a barge would hit that bridge at Burlington.
They had life preservers in the cabin, though, in the shack.
Yeah,
So I suppose you would put one on.
they're supposed to, I know. And
But you were supposed to stand out there and take Polaroid pictures.
heck.
Yeah, for your own safety and litigation later, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was always glad I never had to do it. Getting out there was bad enough for me, let alone climbing down the ladder and walking up that pier. Ooh.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. It seems like they always... Was your drawbridge at the end of the bridge, one end or the other?
No, right in the middle.
It was in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they'd always want to put them that way, but you see, more than not, they're
I've
on
seen
one
those
end or the
others,
other.
yeah.
That makes it harder to, you know, get
Well,
them.
the Arsenal Bridge, he was in the middle, but his bridge could go 360 degrees and it didn't hurt anything. Mine could only go 180, and if you went by that, you were going to snap cables and stuff and do damage. And I used to have nightmares about that, thinking, you know, I'd wake up in the night and the bridge had gone too far. It was creepy.
You could really get it too far?
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't, because it was all manual then. It was no automatic anything.
Hmm.
Except lining up the rails was, if you had them perfectly aligned, then you push the right button, then they'd lock. But you had to have them lined. Now it's all hydraulic and automatic. Because that lever, my God, it was taller than me that you had to throw the
Yeah, I know
thing
that.
with.
We used to have some interlocking like that up there at Tracy. Great big tall levers.
And you had to be able to do that to work on the bridge or lose your seniority.
Hmm.
And I did get it figured out. I stood on a chair and tipped it against the wall and threw it with my leg because I had more strength in my legs than my arms. And then after I left, I put in hydraulics. Bastards.
Yeah, the old conductors, they couldn't handle this big old interlocking up there at Tracy. So they always had to take a brakeman in there with them. Preferably a young, strong one.
Okay. I got you down to no stop in St. Louis. You went through the tugboat thing. Now, would next have been Memphis? And didn't you stop there and work for a guy for a while?
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah, I
Memphis?
did. Well, before I got to Memphis, down there at Cairo, that's probably where you cross the Ohio. That's where the Ohio comes in there.
Yeah.
That was a chilly night. And I remember having to get up and move this I set a bunch of railroad ties on fire to stay warm. I had to get up in the middle of the night and move them aside and lay down on that ground had already been pre-warmed.
Oh.
And then my confounded, they got to sparking and they set my top quill on fire. I always remember that's Cairo.
So you'd what? Just scrape the fire off away and put your bedroll down there?
Yeah. It was nice and warm, boy, where that fire had been.
I remember you was talking about your bedroll getting on fire. And then every time it rained, you just had to dry yourself and all your gear out?
Yeah, if you couldn't find a bridge, sometimes there'd be a small river close that'd have a bridge on. But usually you had to find a barn. See, up there the farms were closer to the river, the barn. You try to find a barn, but if not, you just get wet and build a fire.
Okay, and then comes Memphis?
Yeah, I think that's about the next place of any.
So you stopped there and...
Yeah, I worked about a week for a guy. I wanted to get on as a deckhand, you know, on them barges. But they were all unionized. And of course, nobody was hiring anybody to do anything, didn't seem like.
Did you figure it was a good time to go because there wasn't any work at home, or would you have always had work at home for Denny?
Yeah, I would always had work at home for Denny. I just wanted an adventure. Yeah, I could have still been working for Denny.
You'd always wanted to do it, hadn't you, Dad?
What'd you say?
You said you always wanted to do it in the back of your head, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, we'd lived down on the river for several years. Dad always liked the river. I don't remember him being in a boat, but we always went to the swimming hole, you know.
Yeah.
And he was always talking about him and Denny had a garden down there on some island in the river when I was a kid, and Mom wouldn't let me go.
Did your dad hunt?
I don't remember hunting, but they lived on the river at one time, and it was probably at Red Rock, where they built Red Rock Dam. Used to be a little village of Red Rock there. And I remember him telling me when the river got high, sometimes they had to tie the boat on a table leg, kitchen table leg.
Oh my God.
So they lived right close. Well, on our cabin down there, I'll tell you how fast that river can rise. It was only about half full when I went to bed one night,
What was?
the river,
Oh, the river.
and I woke up, it just stormed something awful that night. I woke up the next morning and the river was running under the cabin.
Oh God.
It was up, maybe a foot and a half above the ground. Yeah, we've had the boat tied on the,
Well, is that what they call flash flooding then, when it comes up that high?
yeah, that fast. Like they've had on the Des Moines Hill just now, I guess. But this was the fastest I'd ever seen it raise.
Okay, so you didn't get on the barge line, but you did odd jobs for that guy?
Yeah, we built a chicken house, for one thing. And I did get to make one trip on a barge with him. He said, well, you might as well go down and see what it looks like, but I can't hire you. He would have loved to hire me, see, for $8 a week and fire one of his $10 a week guys, if he could have, but the union wouldn't let him.
Okay, so you worked there a week, Memphis. Then you went on. What's next after Memphis? Between Memphis and...
Well, that's when I met the guy at Greenville, Mississippi. That's below Memphis. Boy, that was a fun day. I was eating all day. Them guys had more food than I'd seen for...
So what were you, in your boat when they saw you?
Yeah. They just come over, you know, there was 5 guys. And they were just out for a lark. Well, I was going fishing. They wanted to know if I had any fish to sell. And I told them no. And we got talking, you know, like you do. He said, well, come on board if you want to eat with us. Well, that was music to my ears.
And they had a cabin cruiser type fancy boat?
Yeah, real nice boat. The cabin was just full of sandwiches and everything else. And then they had the regular stuff for freaking gallon cans with about a 4 or 5 foot of staging on them.
What's staging?
Well, that's what we used to call fish line, trot lines. It's heavy line. You know, be as big as a tine of that fork.
Oh. Is that when they put lines across with cans every so often and
Yeah,
they go run their lines?
that's a trot line. But these guys see just individual cans with about 4 foot of staging on each can. And then they just went right straight across the river, tossing them off. Oh, they must have had, I'll bet, 30.
Oh, and then they don't have to stick around. They can just
No,
leave them.
we went up on a sandbar and was swimming. Oh, I bet for an hour. And then we come down and start gathering them up. But boy, they lost a lot of them. I was surprised. But they did get 3 fish. And the aggregate of them, I'd say, was 100 pounds.
Really?
Oh yeah, they had to have a gaff to get them in. There was 2 they figured weigh about 35, and another one weigh about 30.
What's a gaff?
It's a big long pole with a hook on it.
Oh.
You know, them big deep sea fishermen use them.
Oh. You think it's G-A-F-F-E?
Yeah. See, your deck might be that far above the water on them nice boats.
Oh, so you have to have something to reach down and fetch
Yeah.
it with. And what kind of fish weigh that much?
Catfish.
They were catfish?
Yeah.
Oh, so all edible.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have been poisonous then.
No, there was plenty of sewage in the river, but it was not near as much chemicals, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, at that time, Morels just had an open sewer. There was no sewage thing at all.
Really?
Everything they dumped went right straight in the river. Well, every town's the same way. They didn't start building them sewage plants, most of them, until after the war. They had started in the 30s. But Morels had an open sewer there. And that was one of the hottest fishing places in the river.
Oh,
Them carp.
because the
Muck
catfish
eat
would
all
want
that
them, yeah.
stuff.
Well, also, too, the innards wouldn't have been as dangerous then because the cattle weren't eating the treated feed and all the chemicals, probably.
Mm-mm. There was actually not too much sewage went out of there because them days, did you ever hear of tankage?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they
Oh,
fed.
that's what they made out of that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They cooked it and fed it to hogs. Corn and tankage is what hogs were fed on. And if a guy had some cows, skim milk. But now, see, they've been feeding that stuff to the cows. And it's a foreign food to cows. A herbivore, and they don't eat animal parts, but a hog is an omnivore. They can eat
I
anything.
figure that's how that mad cow got spread around, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they claim. They shouldn't be feeding cows that stuff anyhow. You
Yeah.
know? It's just like they feed them that stuff to make them give more milk, and grow faster.
Yeah.
It's their own doings.
That was part of my pepper presentation too. We have all this fast food. When Gigi's finished with that book, I read this really interesting book called Fast Food Nation. The guy was, I think he's an investigative reporter. He did a heck of a job on the book. It goes into California's history right after the war when the fast food places first started out. It's really an interesting read.
It's funny, you know, the canteen down there, you might say that was an early fast food place, but they never went into hamburger patties. It was all loose.
Yeah.
But that was started back in maybe the 20s.
That's like a lunch counter, and
Yeah.
the fast food, when they started, they wanted to pattern themselves after Ford's assembly line.
Oh.
So everything could be exactly the same no matter where you got it, and everything would be so efficient, one person doing one job only. It's just amazing. And then how we've turned into, in order to do everything they do, they have to process that stuff so highly that it takes all the nutrition out of it, takes the smell away, the taste away. So those things are all chemically manufactured in factories on the New Jersey Turnpike and then chemically added
Put
to
it back
all
in.
the food, yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it could make a vegetarian out of a person. Or make you swear you never eat in one of those places again.
Maybe that's what made a vegetarian out of Danielle. Boy, she's a strict vegetarian. I don't know. I never did read that book, you know. What was it, something about the jungle?
No, I haven't either. Sinclair Lewis.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
They claim that's what caused the first pure food laws.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, he mentions that in this book.
yeah, that would be a good book to read. I never did, but the stuff, you know, they used to get by with.
Well, the rottenness of the meat packing industry, I mean, they had a little bit of regulation for a while, but, oh, the payoffs and the dirt that went on.
Yeah.
And then when, I think it was Monfort, out west, in Colorado Springs, or...
Yeah, they're out in Colorado.
He was a good guy when he first started out before the money got to him. It told on how he paid his guys living wages, ran a good clean shop, and then went down the tube with all the rest of them. And now there's only, you know, the big three. IBP, it told how bad they are. It's
Yeah.
it's a sad,
Money talks.
but it told about how it's changed our whole way of living, you know. I mean, taking away so much individuality, creativeness, and how it's sweeping through Europe, and how some of them are trying to keep it out, and how powerful the corporations are that are going in, and how big the profit scale is. Ooh. It's a real fast read. It's a big hardbound, and I think I read it in 3 days just because I couldn't put it down. It was just really interesting. Plus, it covered a lot of years that I remember when McDonald's first... I don't know that it was here before I left. Maybe it was. I don't remember it. But I remember in California, the history of when the first fast food started, Big Boy, and no, Big Boy was Midwestern. What's the one out there that's still around?
I don't know.
Somebody's,
Hamburgers?
yeah.
Burger
He was
King?
even before McDonald. Back here they're Hardee's, but I forget what they are out there. Jeff remembered them from when he was out there. They have a different name out there. Carl's Jr.
Carl?
Yeah, Carl's Jr. is the place.
I think I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, out west, that's fast food hamburgers.
Well, I'd never eating a McDonald's. I think I'd heard of them, but one time on one of our trips, it might have been in '59, we was out there and for some reason we wasn't going to stop and cook. We was going to get a hamburger for. So I got in this. It was must have been a pretty good sized town. But anyhow, there was 2 or 3 lines, and this one guy, I got in the shortest one. This one guy turned around and says, "You might want to get in another line." He says, "I'm getting 78 hamburgers." There was a big truck full of scouts out there, maybe a bunch of them anyhow. So we was out there somewhere around the Black Hills. And that's the first time I'd seen them that I can remember.
Yeah.
I just don't remember when.
They started in the 50s, and the Ray Kroc, who automated it, before that, it was the 2 McDonald brothers that owned it out in California, and they just had one place. And their profit was, it was huge for the 50s, $100,000 a year profit they were making off the place. They did a good business, and they used good food, and when Kroc bought it, he only paid him a couple $100,000 for it, I think. Yeah, it was amazing. And their profit pictures in the billions every year. It's amazing.
Boy, it is. And to think that that's just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Burger King and...
Well, and all the Taco Bells and Chinese chains, he goes into everything, pretty much, is a chain. And, of course, it forces out any independent who tries to buck along and make a living. Yeah, it is. It's all the pizza places are chains.
And they fight over them. There was quite a lawsuit here not long ago. They were trying to... See, most of these franchises are individually owned.
Yeah.
But if they think a guy ain't cutting the mustard, why...
They want him
They
out.
want to buy him out, and they'll get him out, or they'll put another franchise too close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll either have to fight them or... And they was in the courts, but I don't know how it was settled. But they was giving this one guy a royal shaft. The franchise was, you know.
Yeah. McDonald's, I think, does it have both kinds? Some places have company stores and franchisees.
I think Des Moines does.
Yeah.
Because this Des Moines owned, or McDonald's owned, it told how many. And then there wasn't many individuals left.
Mm-hmm.
And the individuals, when they buy a franchise, they're supposed to be protected within a certain area, you
Yeah.
know.
That doesn't hold in a lot of them.
Yeah, they break it somehow. Well, they claim the population density had changed and all that stuff. These lawyers, they got 1,000 ways to...
Well, is it Mark Twain that said, there's lies and damn lies and statistics? You know, and it's real accurate.
Yeah.
All right, I got you past Memphis now. So you leave Memphis.
About, chains, you know, that run over, the restaurant over there by Kmart, what do they call that?
Country Kitchen?
Yeah, that Country Kitchen, for years they had a store next to it that was just about done, and they wouldn't finish it. It was a restaurant, and they wouldn't finish it because of Country Kitchen. So finally they finished it and put a Chinese restaurant in. And that's how they got away with it, because it wasn't serving any kind of food that Country Kitchen was. They wanted to put a fast food in there, and Country Kitchen wouldn't allow it.
Country Kitchen is a chain, but I wonder if they're individually owned or if they're...
I don't know.
Some
Well,
chains are all
I
owned
think
by
some of
one.
them are.
Right.
I think most of them chains, some of them are owned by the company, and then some of them, I imagine what happens, a guy buys a franchise, and he ain't a very good manager, or something happens, and he ain't keeping up his payments, they probably put the hammer on him.
Yeah.
Take it over and put their own manager in there.
Well, this book told about how far it's gone. All the meat packers who have them. Well, that's not with McDonald's, though. There's some connection, but I don't remember. But they were saying about the, like IBP and Montfort and Excel, they contract all their, well, they're screwing the farmers.
Yeah,
However they're doing it.
that's what they call
The
that.
farmer
vertical.
takes all the risk, and the beef packer, they all get together and collude on
Yeah,
how much a pound, and
yeah.
it's sinister.
It's just another form of collusion that they call
Price
what do they call it?
fixing
Yeah,
is one,
trust, monopoly.
but they
It's
told how bad they treat their suppliers, but that way they keep complete control over their supply of meat.
You know that, that ice place that, well, they had lockers too, that,
Yeah, Schaefer's?
no, it was that other one down. Oh, where was it? Down there by the railroad track.
Schaefer's.
It wasn't Schaefer's, that guy that owned the locker, his,
Well, there was a Schaefer.
and his son works on the railroad in Milwaukee, or did, because he goes to all those functions.
Well, Schaefer's ice house was right on the tracks. They made ice.
Yeah, but that,
And they had
he
lockers.
didn't run it. Who was that guy that ran it?
Hmm?
Who was that guy that ran it? It wasn't Schaefer.
Did it start with an R?
I can't remember. But anyway, they used to, I guess, make hamburger and stuff. People would bring in their hamburger, and didn't want it, and I know until he went out of business, he always sold his hamburger to the canteen. It was always the canteen was the only one.
Oh.
Where was this place at?
It was down by the track, but I didn't know it was Schaefer's.
Which side from... Schaefer's was towards the west end, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was on the south side of the track.
Mm-hmm.
Between the track and the river.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. That's the only ice house I guess I remember.
But
I think that's the only one that was.
but I don't remember. That wasn't his name.
Rupert or
No, his.
Rheingold or...
Oh,
Not Shirts.
Yeah.
Shirts had lockers.
Oh, maybe it was Shirts.
Yeah, it was Shirts, because that's what Madeline's name is. She married the son, and it was Madeline
Shirts, okay.
She graduated with Joyce.
Well, he didn't have an ice house, did he?
Well, I
He's
thought.
done butchering. He's done butchering for me a couple times.
Oh, Shirts had a... Yeah, he had a locker, didn't
Is
he?
that the
Yeah.
one that was on Church Street?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I just
We-
was confused.
I bought a calf one time, only about 400 pounds, and I was going to butcher him, and I didn't have any fences, good fences, along that place over there along Pennsylvania. So I put him in a pen there and put an electric fence around it, only that was just a battery-operated fence. It wasn't too hot.
Mm-hmm.
And by George, he took off.
You
And
went over with the black ones?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was 3 or 4 days tracing him.
Did you find him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I found him. Well, actually, I don't know whether I found him,
The guy.
but I told everybody,
Yeah.
about it. And I think old Giltner, he got in Giltner's, what he was looking for was another herd of cows. See, they don't like to be alone. And he got in Giltner's herd because he had all blacks. This is a black calf. Good calf, but he wasn't no purebred.
You got into some of the purebreds.
He got into Giltner's purebreds.
Oh, did he...
And
They didn't have him?
I didn't have any way to get him, so I asked Shirts, and he did this often. If he'd go out and shoot him and bring him in and butcher him. He said, yeah. So he was small enough, you could recognize him. When he went out there that morning, he was covering one of, what's his name, cows. He was little enough that you'd think he wouldn't breed anything, but he was anyhow. Whether it took or not, I don't know, but anyhow, he's going to have some offspring that wouldn't be purebred. But he was a good-looking calf, so he might not have.
Of course, if no recessives ever showed in coloring or anything, they'd never know,
Yeah.
maybe.
I didn't tell Gilbert.
Yeah, best you didn't.
Always remember that. It's a wonder I even found him.
Where's Giltner? Or where was he?
Oh, he lives just north of Agencies. He owned a lot of land all the way around there. And he always had a lot of cows.
You guys all knew each other.
Well, pretty much,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, Giltner was one of the first guys that come in this county when it was opened up, I guess.
Really?
His folks was. Yeah, he's an old family. Lives in a nice old brick house down there. Old time brick house.
Well, I'm thinking when we were on a ride out that agency road from the 78 over there, you
Yeah.
were mentioning him one time.
Yeah. Well, he lives a little bit. If you take this road straight out, and then you got to turn right, and between there and Agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of Giltners around here.
Okay, I got you past Memphis. What was next?
Greenville must have been.
Oh, Greenville was the boat ride.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you past Greenville. Now where?
Well, I don't remember much till I hit Baton Rouge. You know, I'd stop at different little old plantations. Them old plantations usually had a little old store not too far from the river that you could buy off of.
Where you mean the plantation was like a town?
Somewhat, yeah.
Now, they couldn't have had slaves anymore, but did they have a lot of sharecroppers and
They were just the same as slaves.
same as?
You know, these sharecroppers,
Yeah.
these guys, so many of them guys own thousands of acres, and they'd have sharecroppers strung out for half a county, you know, for several miles. And they'd all be expected to trade at the company store because they get credit there. And at the end of the year, they owned the store. Yeah, I remember some of them. And a lot of them had little wharves, you know, where they'd be loading their cotton bales because the cotton crop was coming in. And a lot of them, and them times they had packet boats running up and down.
Packet boats?
Yeah, that's what they called them. They were little, like, in a way, taxi or a dime delivery. Remember dime delivery?
Mm-mm. I'm glad there's stuff I don't remember. It makes me feel younger.
Well, when some of the guys called them fish boats, the old fishermen, some of them guys never been to town for years.
Oh, they deliver
The fish,
supplies?
Yeah, it was like a grocery boat.
Oh.
But the packet boats were a little different because they were freight boats. I mean, they handled heavy stuff. But the little boats would come up and supply the fishermen with, you know, coffee and whatever.
These are
groceries.
fishermen where?
Just a little fish camp. You might find them.
Oh, they're not near a town or anything.
No,
Just kind of out.
scattered out anywhere. Those are the guys you always want to stop and talk to, because they always say, "Oh, let's have some coffee," and maybe something else to eat. Took their coffee in a skillet.
Really?
Boy, doggone. Yeah, some of them old guys.
And the old cast iron skillets?
Yeah. Yeah, just heat the water in that, you know, I suppose it had faster than anything.
Yeah, you got more surface exposed.
Yeah, and then they'd have, do you ever see Bull Durham tobacco?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'd have them, you know, full of coffee grounds. And then it was like the coffee we got now, only it was a Bull Durham sack full of coffee.
Well, would it stay okay in that sack? It's
Yeah.
a kind of a burlappy sack, wasn't it?
Well, it
Or
was
was it?
cloth, yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like a tea bag, you know, same
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Get the old water boiling,
Oh, you mean then they just put the whole bag in there?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, then they didn't have grounds all swimming around.
yeah,
That was cool.
yeah. No, I don't know whether they had a percolator or not. I never remember. Didn't see many percolators that I remember. That was too uptown. A lot simpler, just put the old frying pan out there.
Okay.
But the packet boats were smaller boats that didn't push barges. They'd load off, you know, 3 or 4 bales of cotton off of this plantation. You go up and get 3 or 4 off of this one, and then they might be offloading some kind of machinery or maybe even a couple of mules to this place. They'd haul everything.
Was it just a flatboat, like a barge?
No, they had a deck built on them, you know, just like a big boat, only not as long or not as high. Maybe 2 or 3 decks high. And of course the lower deck was always the machinery and the fuel and the livestock, and usually the bales of cotton. But they were just like I'd liken them to a way freight that we used to have on the railroad. We took the local stuff.
All right. So then
And they also carried passengers.
did they on the upper decks?
I was coming around a bend one time, and I was swimming, you know. I had my birthday suit on, and I was standing up on the end of the boat, you know, looking around, getting ready to dive in, and here come this little old packet boat around the bend. A whole bunch of girls up on the top deck. They all started waving and hollering. Yeah, I used to swim all the time.
You didn't tell me that part of it.
I never even got to meet any of them.
I should have brought you that picture down.
Went right on by me.
In my big pepper encyclopedia, there's a picture of 2 Peter peppers. Looks just like a penis. And they grow them from mild to hot. They're just cute.
They grow that way?
Yeah, Peter peppers.
Hey,
Yeah, they're pretty. I passed that around for the class to see with some others. They're just, God, they're cute. And they named one pepper. It's kind of a round little guy about this big, but he's got a real hairy stem, and they called him pubescens. You know, he's hairy.
call him what?
Pubescens.
Pubescent.
Pubescent, like puberty.
Oh. Yeah.
Some of them got dandy names.
That's looking good.
Yeah, I thought it looked good too.
Real good.
I thought you got that done next week.
It's itching.
They put it up a week.
Oh, good.
We got a hair out here. Big old thing.
Well, when you get old, the hair stops growing on your head and it goes in your ears and nose instead.
I don't understand it.
Eyebrows.
Oh yeah, eyebrows too. Another use for that hot pepper oil is they put it in a business or in an oil and rub it on bald heads, and it'll grow some hair in some people.
Hey,
It's just
must be young people.
all purpose, everything you can do with it. Okay, so we're down in Baton Rouge. How long did you stay in Baton Rouge?
No, just that one day.
Oh,
Where'd you go? You got the job at the gas station.
No, that was New Orleans. Yeah, Baton Rouge. It was a Saturday, see, and there was a football game. I remember that, because I'm pretty sure it was old Davey O'Brien, boy, he was an All-American quarterback coming over from Texas to play that Louisiana State. It was just a little bit after the time of Huey Long, you know, and all them Louisianans, boy, they loved Huey. He done a lot for that state, according to them, and I've read a lot about him too.
Well, yeah, he was crooked, but he got a lot of good done while he was being crooked.
Well, I don't know. I suppose he was crooked. A lot of them say he was, but maybe he wasn't as crooked as the guys he was.
That's true. I think there was degrees. Like Mayor Daley, he did a lot for that city of Chicago, and he wasn't exactly Hoyle. You know, oh, Catherine used to rant and rave about Daley.
You see, Standard Oil, even at that time, was practically running Louisiana.
She didn't like him, huh?
Them and the railroad.
No.
They already started that off-road drilling, you know. And they were drilling a lot down there in the swamps before you got offshore. In fact, Beaver was working down there. Not on the oil rigs, but he's working for the government geodetic survey. But Huey was a greatly beloved man down there. And then he's the guy that got the bridge built. I think that was completed in 36. So it just been built a short time.
And that was between where and where?
Well, it was at New Orleans, right north of New Orleans. They had to, see, it was double, they had cars and trains both.
Oh.
Yeah,
But where would it connect to?
well, I forget what, maybe it was Gretna, whatever town was right on across the river from, you know, it's the line that goes clear to California, Southern Pacific.
So what
It goes
state
right
is over
across.
there? It's another state, wouldn't it be?
No,
Still Louisiana?
still Louisiana, yeah. Then the next state over is Texas,
Oh.
but it's a ways before you get to the river.
Oh, so you're still in Louisiana on both sides of the river there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you get to New Orleans. What'd you do first?
Well, the nice, interesting thing happened before I got to New Orleans. You know, when I stopped at Baton Rouge, I just put my boat up on the edge there, you know, and I usually tied it to a piece of driftwood. I suppose I did. But anyhow, when I come back, I was uptown watching all these bands and all these ROTC guys marching around. When I finally figured out they hadn't declared war on anybody, then I come on back. I probably bought some stuff. And my boat was, probably from here to the fence, out of the water.
Out of the water?
Yeah.
Oh, the tide? Was there a tide?
Come clear up that far. See, they claim New Orleans even is below sea level,
Yeah.
most of it. But the tide, the river had gone down, so it was below normal, really.
Well,
And
let's,
the tide backs up that far.
what'd you say it was in from the ocean? How many miles?
Oh, New Orleans is 100 and some miles.
100 miles?
Yeah.
Better?
That's why I didn't go any farther down, because they said there wasn't hardly any towns